ETS E-mini futures 2000 tick chart, and we're using price action rules and market geometry to determine where to enter for high probability setups. So as you can see, we're starting off the day with this really strong downtrend working lower. You can see multiple rejections off of the EMA. Prices can't even manage to go above EMA for more than one bar. Multiple rejections off of this top trend line and a few confirmations off the bottom of this trend line. So we're in a really good trend here. I'm really just looking for any opportunity to go short. I stepped into the market around this area. I'm sure there's some second entry shorts here. Let's see. I mean, you can consider this one here. It's kind of a double trap, which would technically be a third entry short, but as you can see, it stopped out all the early shorts and then made a big bear bar. So if you enter on this, it's a really good trade. You can see new low, first entry short, pull back, second entry short, pull back, third entry short, which is a failure technically. So that's a pretty decent trade. You also have kind of a mini second entry short right here with a lower high confirming it in a way. So some pretty decent setups on the way down. Unfortunately, I wasn't here for those, but now that we're in this nice downtrend, I like to come into the markets a little bit later so I can come in when it's established like this. That way, if we break out of this channel, I know that we need to create new low, or I can even get a second entry short at the bottom. So just sitting on my hands. Let's see if we can get something nice here. All right, guys, we had this nice lower high underneath EMA right here. You can see we had this strong spike and then we broke out of that channel, but then we immediately reversed underneath EMA and EMA rejected to the downside. I tried to get filled on this trade with my 8 tick limit. Unfortunately, it didn't come back and fill me, and we just created new low for this downtrend. But if you can get filled on this trade, I mean, that's perfect. I mean, you look at the size of the scalp you could have made. You know, we're already at 42 ticks here, so if you can get filled on that trade, excellent trade. Unfortunately, I didn't though. So hopefully we can get, now that we have new low, if we continue to push lower, I'm going to widen the downtrend. It's definitely a bear day, so let's see what the market wants to do here. All right, we're definitely still bearish here. You can see we're making lower lows and lower highs, and there's multiple short-term uptrends that didn't create new extreme, and it looks like prices want to stay below EMA. We did form like a multiple test kind of support right here, broke below that, and we know that most breakouts fail, so I'm sure there's some kind of small trading range, something like this. And then we had a failed breakout here that ended up making the market reverse up, so thinking we'll get some kind of rejection right here. I'm going to draw my short-term uptrend, something like this. We got to account for every price movement on this chart. Every chart, or every bar has a short-term channel or a wider channel that it's a part of. It all follows this market geometry, and you can use that to determine like where to enter for these trades that we're looking for. You just find your key entry point, you find the directional bias of the market, you wait for your setup, and if the setup forms, you use the signal bar to determine whether or not to enter that trade. So it's pretty simple. But now that we created new low, really anything can happen. It can start a new market cycle, completely reversing the market. So not really looking to go short right now, unless we find some kind of wider downtrend working lower. If we push lower here, there might, we could start the trend, like, let's see here. If we could start it like here, maybe connect these swings or something like that. So, but it's too early for that because we did just create new low. They may even recognize this as technical new low here. So really just a no trade zone, waiting for the market to establish its new structure. A lot of volume today, so if we do get in a trade, there's a good chance for a good runner. So hopefully we can get something. Alright guys, looks like this new low and this failed breakout of this trading range led to some kind of reversal, so I'm thinking there might be some kind of wider uptrend, maybe something like this. It's not confirmed yet, and we may break out of it right now, but I'm going to just draw it in just to keep my mind on the right side of the market. I want to be able to understand the bias, so I'm not looking for shorts or longs where I shouldn't be. So I'm going to be watching this channel and we'll see what happens here. Okay guys, we still have yet to get new extreme for this little uptrend here. We're just kind of consolidating sideways. You can see how flat EMA is, and prices are able to just kind of move through EMA multiple times freely. So there's no real clear structure. Maybe you can buy low, sell high, but I'm just not into it right now. So I'm going to go ahead and take my break. Hopefully when I come back, there will be some good market structure we can trade and hopefully get a setup today. Just came back from my break. It looks like we were in that consolidation for quite a while. I don't really see any good setups. I guess you could consider this one decent. It's kind of like a second entry short, but you can make a case for a short-term uptrend working higher. Something like this. And you don't really want to go long while that trend is still in play. So it's definitely a risky trade, but you can see multiple tests off the top. It's a small bar, small risk, so you can go ahead and consider taking something like that. I don't think I would have taken it if I was here just because of the short-term uptrend, but definitely a decent trade. Then we got this second entry long right here that ended up failing after we broke out of the bottom. I think that's pretty decent. You can see, even though it was a failing trade, you can see two leg pullback to the EMA, or not to the EMA, to the bottom of this trading range. Multiple tests off the bottom. It would have stopped you out, but that's just how trading is sometimes. So decent trade there. I probably would have taken that one if I was here and taken a losing trade. So luckily I came back right in time to miss that trade. But now that we have failed breakout, I'm expecting this breakout to fail. We have a potential wider downtrend working lower, something like this. But if you draw it like that, then we have overshoot. So we just have to wait for prices to really show us what it wants to do. If it's going to pull back in a range, it could be a combination of the failed breakout of this trading range and this overshoot of this downtrend. So maybe some kind of failed second entry short reversal pattern back into the trading range here might be decent. Let's see what we get. I want to see a nice spike through EMA here, and then a nice signal bar at the EMA above it, confirming a rejection and a potential pullback into the top of this range. So this is starting to kind of look like a breakout pullback pattern. We're really struggling to get back above EMA. So this breakout might end up working out, especially considering that this downtrend needs new low now. I might consider a short here. If something really nice sets up, like we can reset count from here, new low, first entry short, pullback, second entry short. Off of the bottom, it's support turned into resistance. It's a pretty common pattern. But if we can get something like that to test new low, I might consider. Second entry short triggered, but you can see it's below this bull bar right here. I definitely wanted to see a better bar form to consider taking it, because we have new low, first entry short, pullback, second entry short. As soon as it broke below this bull bar, if that would have closed bearish, I definitely could have considered, but since it's a bull bar, I can't. Okay, we ended up pulling back into the range. That's common with overshoot. It can lead to reversal. So when you see overshoot, that's why you always want to skip the first, second entry short you see. Even though there's a potential it makes a new low, this overshoot can lead to a complete market reversal like it did here. You can see we pushed back above EMA, strong spike, and then we pulled back into this trading range. So I'm going to draw a new short-term uptrend, and I'm hoping for a long, maybe something like a second entry short, something like that at the EMA with a good signal bar. And then, yeah, that's the only way I'm really considering taking a trade right now is a second entry long here at the EMA. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up my trading day here. You can see we're breaking out of the other side of this range now. This uptrend is still in play, but it's getting pretty late. It's 109 now. I normally stop at 130, but since we're just consolidating to the side, I'm going to go ahead and call it. So overall, this morning we had this nice downtrend working lower. This is the only real decent trade I can see. Other than this one, actually, that's pretty decent. Little second entry short right here off of the trend line, but it's a little bit sketchy going short directly into the EMA, but since the downtrend is so strong, you can definitely consider taking that one. I tried to get filled on this lower high reversal to test new low of this downtrend like it did here, but it didn't come back and fill me. I was risking going for 8 ticks. You can see it was 1 tick away from coming back and filling me, unfortunately, but that's just the way trading is. Sometimes you can't let that get to you and end up taking a stupid trade like right here just because you missed that one. You got to stay patient regardless of whether or not you've taken a trade for the day. So overall, pretty good price action. I felt pretty good about it. A lot of volume today, so the market was moving pretty well. But yeah, with that, if you guys enjoyed the video, go ahead and like the video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and feel free to subscribe. I'm going to be uploading every weekday my live trading sessions. So thank you guys for watching. Good luck with your trading.